Stolitz is canon, and Via is gonna hate all of them forever. Mastermind was one hell of an episode. We got all the deadly sins. Satan brought down the hammer only to make it a love tap with Blitz, getting everything he ever wanted while Stolas lost his reason to live. But they're playing sweet music over it, and he's giving him a bath, so everything must be fine, right? The power imbalance is gone, right?
Gracias. But okay,
This is a very interesting episode in how it charts a potential future for Stolas and Blitz, as on one hand, this is the closest they have ever been, but they are also serial fumblers. So that finale has a 50-50 chance of doing these two dirty, and by that I mean themselves. Think about it, if Blitz is this ecstatic while Stolas is mourning the loss of his daughter, these guys are one convo away from blowing it all up. And given what happened last time, yeah, we're in for a treat. So let's break down Stolitz and Mastermind in all the ways everything has and hasn't changed.
I am the mastermind, and here I am the law.
And yes, Satan is hot. So to catch everyone up to what brought us here, Blitz has been put through the ringer. Due to spend the last 2 episodes getting grilled for all of his life choices, forced to see the consequences of his actions, realizing that he does care, then whip out at the last second, only to take that chance for self-betterment, only to immediately bury himself in porn. Then he gets railed by a ghost in all the wrong ways, who drags him through all of his worst memories. This man has been taking L after L, meanwhile Stolas, apparently, hasn't been hitting the streets. Instead, Better Than Stolas was a one-off, with him immediately going back to just sitting at home, drinking himself into an early grave. Which honestly mood. Proving that while everyone learned a lesson in Apology Tour, nobody internalized it. Hence the wallowing, proving that these two truly are meant for each other. Though honestly, out of all the ways I imagined these two moving in together, it being Stella's fault was kind of the main option.
You are so lucky you are hot, Stella.
So yeah, Stella spilt the tea, Blitz and the rest of I.M.P got put on trial, with none of the upper crust really willing to give them a chance. Even People's New Faith Viago is more concerned about Stolas' reputation than the imps that are currently on trial. Meanwhile, the cock of the walk himself, Ozzy aka Osmodius, was straight up about to let Fizz's best friend die?
I'm sure he has a good reason for all this.
sorry, baby. I tried.
Bruh, he has one of your crystals. Stolas said he's under your jurisdiction. Please, speak the fuck up and do more than just cast a vote. No? That's all he really does? Disappointing. Well, I guess you're only stepping up for the imps you're personally sleeping with, so I guess you weren't one of the good rich people.
You should have remained in your place, imp.
And Drelphus is dragging the imp, saying that they were trying to rise above their station, along with some other lies like how he forced Stolas into banging him, stole the book, plotted to kill the noble to cover up the crime. None of the things that he actually did wrong, with Blitz demanding to be heard, and then he's rejected by the majority of the room. As they didn't drag him here to get answers, they brought him here to be made an example of, wanting to execute him on live TV to send a message to the rest of hell about what happens when you try and better yourself. The Blitz does get his chance to call the system and how this whole thing is rigged against them and is thoroughly bullshit, only for Satan to fire back that he made imps to be subs. So, with that being the case, he's willing to just kill Blitz, as the rest were just following orders, meaning Blitz, and only Blitz will die, showing the stubborn obstinance has gotten him so far in life and put him right in the ground. But he's willing to do anything to shoulder the blame for those that he loves, and that is admirable. Plus, him running his mouth has endeared him to the rest of hell, hence his future popularity, which I'm sure will go well until he starts trying to do jokes, which we all know how that turns out. Yeah, he's about to be executed, but we know we can't end the series here, so Stolas. Yep, Stolas showed up in his ugly ass romper to save the day, where he manages to bail Blitz out of trouble by being a noble idiot.
The mastermind.
So let's get this out of the way. Stella was trying to kill him. He did give Blitz the book, which is still an offense. But rather than admitting to any of that, he decides to just cast himself as the true mastermind in the most vague way possible. No follow-up question? No really breaking down why a man would just show up, take all the blame, and just like, oh, popularity. He was like, no, wait, why did you actually do this? He's like, no, I'm taking the blame. I was like, okay. Stolas is here, and as the master of grand romantic gestures, he makes his biggest yet, using his veneer of superiority to write Blitz off as just a pawn in his plan to something, with this being significant as Blitz has spent so much time resenting Stolas, believing that he thought of him as nothing but a lowly imp. So for Stolas to bring this back, to keep calling him just a pawn, as nothing, and for Blitz to fully see through all of it, this is huge progress. Blitz recognizes what Stolas is actually doing here, and hates that he's throwing his life away for his, as Blitz still doesn't believe his life is worth it. Hence why this ultimate sacrifice breaks down the last of Blitz's walls, and why he can finally say he loves Stolas. Stolas is his heart, while the bird calls Blitz his light, which is a great way to frame it. Stolas' life was all darkness save his daughter, so Blitz bull rushing to his life it changed everything. It showed him that there was a possibility for love, knocking him out of the depression he had just spent so long accepting. Blitz really is Stolas' light, and I love how all the foreshadowing in the shipper short just turned out to be true. That when faced with the great demon lord, someone did step up and stare him down. This also has the benefit of Stolas making up for what happened at Ozzy's, where with just one sin and peer pressure, Stolas hit his face and admit what was going on with Blitz. But here, he's in the room, in front of just the most powerful people, and tells Satan to his face that he is the bad guy. Which, baby steps. You know, yeah, Stolas is Blitz's heart, as after years of closing himself off, this is the first real time he has actually yearned to let someone in romantically. He wanted Moxie physically. Personally though, it was like a little bit more of a mess of sexual desire and the platonic need to feel like he belongs. Stolas is the reason that Blitz tries to be better and to even attempt to change. Every thought he's had the last 3 episodes has been about Stolas. It's the reason he was down in the dumps, and the reason even when he was on the stand, he refused to throw Stolas under the bus. He called the system bullshit and that what the cowboy was saying was outright lies, but he never tried to pin the blame on Stolas. Call him stubborn or self-destructive, but Blitz will always stand his ground, and he won't let anyone else pay a price when he can do it instead. I'm not sure if Blitz was ready to announce all these things before the trial. Seeing Stolas throw his life away for one that not even Blitz values, it shatters any chance to misconstrue what's happening, with Blitz's trauma of losing the people he loves meaning he is not putting up any barriers when he finds out Stolas was alive, as he brings that bird back home, and he is ready to just do anything for him. Which he kind of needs, because Stolas got exiled, and really, it's because he lost custody.
You never loved Mama, and you don't love me, you love him.
Now personally, I think it would take Stolas a week or two to realize that not being a Goetia could be the best thing that has ever happened to him. Outside of like 2 people, no one here knows or really cares about him. He has spent his entire life in this gilded cage surrounded by people he hates, so him getting cast out of this thing might finally be the opportunity he needs to soar, and I think that could be so beautiful. But then there's Via. His harpy of an ex, which I think they've fully gone through the divorce, though I can't be sure as they do call him the ex-husband, I believe. But the incestual duo have Via, and Dreyfus is now in charge of the estate, meaning he might be making moves to keep Via from reaching the age of maturity. But more interestingly, this means that the finale will in all likelihood be about Stolas trying to talk to his daughter, only for her to be possibly turned against him by Stella, or more accurately, her perception of Stolas' actions. Believing that Stolas really did pick Blitz over her, and she's not fully wrong, as the man was really about to throw his life away to save this partner versus living with his daughter. So she has valid grounds to be bitter, and even someone as dumb as Stella doesn't have to try that hard to spin this. I mean, the man was already using Blitz to cope with his life and was already ignoring his daughter because of it. This really does change the perception of that one line from Via from the trailer, but I do feel a kind of way about them going from, oh, Stolas, you've been fucking up, to, oh, Stolas, you made a heroic sacrifice, and that's the thing he's gonna be getting called out for, which is interesting. Though I do like the idea of like what this mastermind song presents, as it can be viewed as the culmination of both of their arcs. Stolas realizes that he can control his own fate, that he isn't just a pawn of his family, he is not being controlled by Stella, and he is not just beholden to his station. Meanwhile, Blitz's line of how he realizes too late works so well for Blitz, as yeah, there is a hazard of not telling the people you love that you love them as worse things might happen. With they only being held giving Stolas what is, in their perspective, a slap on the wrist, keeping the two alive, and giving Blitz a chance to say those things. And yeah, I do think that from the Goetia perspective, this Stolas situation is kind of a slap on the wrist, as yeah, he's stripped of his titles and he's being forced to slum it for 100 years. Who knows how long that time span actually is for immortals. It's not nice, but it's like, this could have been so much worse. Though Via is the only thing that really makes this a true punishment.
Stolitz? What happened in there?
I have been banished.
Blitz and Stolas, they both lived. Blitz is now a celebrity, beloved and validated by the rest of his kind, which is something that he's always wanted in one form or another. Blitz has always wanted to cheer the crowds, for people to laugh and to believe that he is important. So Blitz, in a strange way, got everything he wanted after this trial. He still has the Osmodian crystal. Everyone is trying to hire him or chanting his name. This dude fucking won. Meanwhile, Stolas is fucking depressed. But Blitz lets him stay in his place. Stolitz gets to see the marked out pictures of Blitz and just, yeah, he wasn't being hyperbolic that one time. But the real gut punch to Stolas, the thing that just sends him over the edge, is seeing Blitz hug Luna. As it's right here that he realizes that, yeah, he lost Via. He really rushed in to save Blitz and didn't weigh the consequences of his actions. Figures, but fair. They were really just immediately about to kill Blitz. But I've also definitely read this fanfic before. Blitz is trying to nurse Stolas back to health, giving him a sponge bath, with the bird not taking well to living.
Yeah, try not inhaling the water.
Emotionally in tatters, Blitz tucks Stolas into bed. We get this one great line.
Thank you, Blitz.
Thank you, Stolas, for saving my life.
Always.
Yeah, Stolas will always be there to save Blitz, which is also a sign that he's forgiven him from the whole Striker situation, which I know has been definitely weighing on Blitz's conscience. But screw that, we got the averted love confession that only gets averted because Stolas passes out from just exhaustion.
Hey, Stolas,
With Blitz sitting back to watch the city praise him. And honestly, this is just such a sweet ending. I fucking hate this background music. Truly, I'm all for Stolas finally getting together, this was huge, but I can't stop doing double takes at this whole final scene. As yeah, cute, been waiting years for this, but Stolas just lost everything. He lost his money, his powers, he has normal eyes now and they're not glowing, and he lost his daughter. So the fact that the music is so triumphant and sweet, we're watching the fireworks while I'm just watching Stolas die in the corner. Which this, among other things, has me feeling just weirdly cynical about this ending more than most of the other people I've talked to about it. As all this episode has a bunch of great moments, for these two, for their future, I'm kind of having doubts. As we've seen these two backpedal so many times, the power imbalance isn't so much as gone, it's been inverted. With Blitz now being the celebrity of the two, who Stolas will now undoubtedly be working for, probably in season 3. And I say probably because even that's up in the air, as Stolas will probably do everything he can to find his daughter in the finale, and the drama that can unfold. I'm sure Blitz is gonna try and help him as, yeah, he'd do anything for Luna, but if they were to actually go and see Via, and she justifiably lashes out at being Stolas' constant afterthought, yeah, things could go south really quickly. So to keep playing the cynic, I think it's very fitting that these two got together the way that they did, as it sets them up for success, but also failure. These two both run on big emotions and big actions, but they're also historically shit at follow-through. So while we got the feels of them being together, looking at how they got here, and all of the unaddressed issues that come along with it, Blitz actually treating those he loves with respect, Stolas taking accountability for his unintentional classism, it does feel like a lot of things that could have been addressed have kind of been swept to a side for like, oh, giant moment, they're here, they're together. I'm just like,
be wary. I sense a disturbance in the force.
I'm not saying this is the worst thing in the world. I am saying that if we haven't seen those things be fixed, they can come back in a big way and bite us in the ass. As take it from me, someone who has seen so many shipping disasters, that until they roll credits and we see rings, there is always a chance that a relationship can be ripped away at a moment's notice. This is progress, but this ship can be sunk by one low blow. Mastermind wasn't what I imagined it'd be, and and I am holding off on a proper review till the finale, since that's coming out in December, and yeah, I can hold my tongue that long. Stolas though, his grand romantic gesture finally paid off. Blitz finally started winning, as honestly, this episode could have been a finale, meaning whatever happens next has to be worse. The trailer does look like they're gonna throw down with Andrelphus, and it would be very clutch if Via of all people stepped in to save them, or just all the other people who didn't do dick during the trial. But we'll see. Now let me know what you all thought down below, like, share, and subscribe, and my Has Been Hotel ship ranking video drops tomorrow. Be prepared.